Hey, everybody, welcome to I've Been There, Brother, the show about the things that we all face, we don't talk about, but man, if we did, they would bring us together. Realize that we're not alone. My name's Keith. That bearded man is William, and we are glad that you are here.
Hello. Morning, Keith. How we doing?
Good morning. I was going to wear a suit today.
To offset my substitute teacher look.
Yeah, because I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about, as I was editing that episode, I should show up wearing a suit. But then I thought, how am I going to get a natural reaction? Because I'm going to, we sit here and then we get on, we do a little audio check, then hit record. And I thought, I don't know how I'd pull it off.
That would have been tough. You'd have had to beat me on the call and then hit record.
I don't think it'll let me do it because it does the countdown. So you know that it's being recorded.
That's a valid
legal stuff. Okay, question for you.
Yes.
Tell me the best thing that's happened to you in the last 4 days.
Best thing that's happened to me in the last 4 days?
We record these on Wednesday, so this is Wednesday morning. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Well, we'll go Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That's four full days.
I'd say the best thing that happened is I just signed my 5th client for coaching.
Nice, dude.
Yeah. It's been really cool working with others, seeing a lot of their wins, but just being able to give that something I have a huge passion for, just helping others. But
yeah,
just signed a 5th client yesterday.
Sick. That's awesome.
Yeah, very cool. How about yourself? What is the most exciting thing in the last 4 days?
I was with my kids this weekend.
I loved the track day. That was fantastic.
We did the first Cox Classic. It started out because my middle child is in track, and she thinks that she's really, really fast. And I thought I would be really, really faster. And so whenever I go there, we stay in an Airbnb. There was a track maybe a mile away. And I was like, okay, let's go race. And I thought we were going there for like one race. And then kind of, in the morning, the build up to it, it turned into, well, we should do 100 meters. We should do 400 meters. Do you think you could do high jump? And I said, I'm not doing high jump. We got there and they had left the cover to the long jump off the sand pit. So basically telling you to use it. And then my oldest is a varsity cheerleader. So it turned into the Cox Classic. And we did a bunch of stuff. Not only some of what we did, that the long form of that video is like 3 minutes long.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah. Hurt my back. A little bit, like throwing my youngest up on my shoulders and trying to do a cool stunt off. We left that one off camera. And it was great. It was great. It was a lot of fun just being able to do that stuff. I don't think I would have done those things probably 3 years ago. Not well. Well, I was assuming you saw the video. I didn't do all of it well, but it was fun to hang. And I won the 100 meters. I got
not by much, though.
A win's a win. A win's a win. I'm running in a pair of Vans. And
that's true.
I haven't ran. I've not given it full gas like that in that 100 meters, like just going as hard as I can. I don't know, 15 years.
I loved it. I thought it was awesome. And then the jump split,
they smoked me and everything else.
Oh man, that was some form. When your daughter did that on the video, and then I was like, oh, I cannot wait for this clip. And then you did it right after. The floppy
my knees
hair
were very
too.
bent. Yeah. Oh,
your hair. Oh man, it was
fun.
What a cool memory though, man. That is oh man, that you just can't make those moments up. Like those are as like for me as a dad, like doing things like that you just can't, that you see like in the movies. It sounds silly and cliche, but I think that those are those things that Man, well, how fortunate is that?
It was fun. And look, I'm going to be 43 soon. And I think back to, maybe not even think back. Well, yes, I think back and I look at some friends of mine that are that age. And a lot of them here in Utah, where I live, are very capable. They probably would have done better because they're super athletic. But outside of that small bubble, I don't know, I haven't been surrounded by a lot of people that age who, one, would go do that, and two, hey, yeah, I got beat by a 13-year-old, but I think I did pretty well.
Yeah.
And so that felt good. It felt good to show it to the kids.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
well, and you could do it. Like,
yeah.
Like we went for the other night, I needed to run 6 miles and I didn't have to do anything crazy. And we used to talk all the time about going for family walks and stuff. And not long ago, I couldn't go for walks, as we've talked about. And now it was, hey, I have to run 6 miles. Do you want to walk around the track as I run? It's, going to take me about an hour, and it's beautiful out. This was on Monday night. And she's like, yeah. And so Liam actually came, he had a scooter. The other two sat in the stroller because one usually naps during that. And here I am running, around a track as Liam scooted right alongside me for a good portion of it. And then he had some friends to play with. But I mean, making that kind of choice to where we could sit on the couch or do things like not as a family, we were being active outside, present with one another, and yet still being able to accomplish our stuff. But
yeah,
I flat out said to her on Monday night after that, when we were at home and the boys were eating and we were kind of just all sitting there, and I said, well, nights like this, I would have probably been drunk at this point in time and or drinking at this point. And here we are. I just finished 6 miles yesterday, 11, and we're spending so much more quality time together. What a difference, a couple of years can make.
Feels good, doesn't it?
It does feel, it feels so clear. It feels, I feel happy. I feel a lot of joy.
That's good.
Yeah.
Speaking of feelings, we have a topic today, and it is the feeling of loneliness.
Yeah.
I think that's the topic, isn't it? Was there more details to that topic? Yeah, that's the topic. That's the topic.
I think about that, and like when you were talking about your, with your kids and those times, and not only that, but being able to do the stuff with them, and yet friends that maybe don't. Like, I used to be that person, and not saying that I don't have lonely moments now, but I used to be that person that would just drown in my loneliness and what I thought was alone, even though I wasn't. And I don't know about yourself, but when you're around, you ever felt alone when you're around other people, even though you got them around you, and you still kind of maybe feel alone?
Yeah, I've had different types of loneliness in my life. So whenever I was drinking a lot, I don't know if I felt alone. I look back on that part of my life and I go, that was probably the most alone I've been, but it's almost hard to explain. I didn't walk around during the day going, I feel lonely, but I was also drinking. So I don't know if it felt that way. And I think I had a false sense of, what's the opposite of loneliness? Togetherness. I had maybe a false sense of togetherness because I would get a couple cocktails in me and then start calling people, and we'd chat, right? And I look back and I go,
notorious for that.
Yeah. So I think that made me feel surrounded. I don't think I really truly was. Now I feel, whenever I left work and made some life changes, there was definitely loneliness in there. I still get lonely. I feel lonely right now. I go through, every time I go see my kids, right? I fly up on a Friday. I pick them up. They stay with me, and I drop them off on Sunday night. And I thought that would get easier the more I've been doing that for almost a decade. And so I thought that would get easier as time went by. And by easy, I mean the feeling of sadness whenever I would leave them at the end of the weekend. And it's just gotten worse every time.
Yeah.
And as those weekends get better and better, and we have a fantastic relationship, really proud of that. Like an hour before I take them to drop them off, it's just, I just want to cry. Sometimes I do. And that drive back from dropping them off with their mom to the Airbnb, and then I got to go clean everything up, and then I catch a flight at 5 a.m. the next morning. Like that period of coming back, and it's just quiet, and it's just me. That is probably the loneliest that I feel, and it takes me until Wednesday morning to recover. Yesterday was a really hard day. Monday's always really hectic because I fly back on Monday, and then I'm back home and working by 8 a.m. 8:30. So, but yeah, yesterday was just super lonely, and it's every time. It takes a couple of days to recover from that. Those are the ones that are on my mind. There's plenty of other lonely times in there. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's gotten better. The more time has gone on, the more I've been able to find mindsets and everything. And I've also found more confidence in my marriage, I think, and
Yeah.
really confiding in her when I would in the past would just kind of muscle through it myself. And now in most cases I pretty much seek out my wife, and I pray a lot. Like I'll stop in a moment, and if there's something stressful or if something's going on, and in the past I would when my dad was around, I would call my dad for just about anything, and I don't obviously have that, and so I think a lot of times when I would normally just call and talk to him, now I just resort to either my wife or I'll literally start talking to God, and it's like. At first I thought that was really weird, but now it's just really normal for me. And I don't know. It's really, I think moments are different than they were before because I think I can navigate them a little bit better and the emotional side of it. Like sometimes when I'm feeling lonely, I'll flat out start doing push-ups, like something to stimulate my mind and put my body through something. And that's just a weird concept because I would resort to other things before, other vices, and to kind of probably drown that. And you bring up calling people, and maybe that's when and I think I did that because I was lonely. And trying to fill a void of people that maybe weren't in my life when I was struggling, that didn't see everything maybe full picture, but I could fill that with something per se. And I think that came through a lot, but I mean, more so now, I'm fortunate because I've struggled a lot to get to where I feel like I don't feel the loneliness as much. But
do you have things that, like, have you recognized a situation or something that kind of sets that loneliness off now, present day?
Yeah, probably when I don't feel confident in probably myself, to be honest. Like if I'm dealing with like a work situation or maybe my schedule is too busy and I'm thinking nobody else gets my schedule and I feel like super alone because I've put myself in that situation of overscheduling. And it's like I think sometimes I make myself busy so I don't feel lonely. So in a way I'm probably more lonely than not lonely, but I'm afraid to feel lonely, I think is what it is, because I have been in dark places and I'm confident in myself now, but when I start to lose that, maybe because I am busy, it's just I'm not getting everything done, and I'm like I've said before, I can be like I need to get everything done, and if I don't do it well, I've got to now do it 10 times better the next time, and I kind of go in this cycle of maybe putting myself in that position more than I need to. So
it's good that you're opening up to your wife.
Yeah. I think even with my kids, and you've mentioned this about your own kids, my kid's at max 8 years old, and I don't tell him everything, but he's not an idiot. I mean, he can see that the health is better, what we do is different, and how we process things is different. But very open with him about handling stress, especially if I'm out of line or something. Maybe I raise my voice, but I think that's helped keep me a little bit more open as well.
I'm pretty open with my kids. I actually had a little sit down with them whenever we were together over the weekend and said, hey, I think sometimes I'm a little too open with all of my feelings, and I'm worried that I'm worried that maybe me sharing how I'm feeling about a situation that might involve you, I want you to know that I'm not trying to put my stuff on you. I'm not trying to make you feel bad for, me saying, oh, I had a really hard time getting a hold of you this week or something like that. I kind of had that realization, and my wife had kind of pointed that out, that I'm well-intended, but some of the things they're teenagers. And so some of the things that I say, they could take that on as I was disappointed, or, I'm just putting some of my shit on them. So I had that talk with them. A short talk. I didn't try to turn it into this big emotional thing and put my shit on them, but I felt that it needed to be addressed. So,
how do you feel like that was received?
Received like you would expect.
Yeah,
a couple teenagers to receive it, but I did it. I did it. And I moved on, and I focus on not trying to do it moving forward. They're tough to get right. I don't know. I'm trying to learn how to be a dad, and I haven't had a dad, at this age, and we've talked about that, and doing the best that I can. And there's some loneliness that comes with that whenever they're hard to get a hold of because they're teenagers and they're doing their thing. And my wife did a good job of pointing out the things that are not normal for a lot of kids their age in terms of how much they interact with me, and whenever I do get them, how long they're willing to talk and what they share, and the clear comfort level that they have, in situations like that. So that's good. It's a good reminder. You need to focus on the good, and realize that they're not 7 years old anymore.
Yeah. And I mean, do you feel like that they have, as you've kind of built on your relationship and you've talked about like your things you focus on during the days with your kids, that has helped when you do go visit, like the intentionality outside of when you're with them in person versus when you are with them, kind of the relationship and how maybe that's like improved or changed? If that makes sense?
Yeah, I think so. It's just tough. You show up and life is expensive, and I don't want to use money as an excuse to not go do a bunch of things with them whenever I'm there, and we do stuff. But my default is like, let's go race go-karts. Let's go do these activities to build memories. And so I'm trying to find the balance between that and spending all of my money on activities. And then, let's watch movies and hang out. I've been to both extremes. I'm just trying to find a balance in the middle. And that's why, dude, just go to the track for 2 hours and hanging out and doing activities and just playing.
Yeah.
That was, I think I had some of the most fun that I've had. And I think that they did too. Definitely came across that way. It's probably one of the best weekends that we've had. But
the laughs and everything. And
oh yeah, just all that. Getting to make fun of their dad. They love making fun of me. And so I think a lot of my loneliness clearly stems from my kids and being, not near them every single day. And similar to you, whenever I have a lack of confidence on something and not having, I have my board of advisors. We've talked about that. Like I have those people that I can call and talk to, and I would consider them close. I don't know. I build these walls around myself that I don't always know how to break down in terms of, letting people really in. And in a new wave of life, trying to do a lot of new stuff and trying to go to people, I'm doing a new thing. I want to go to someone who's done that thing before, and I don't have someone in my life who's done that thing. And then I can, and if I don't feel comfortable in it, I can feel a little isolated and lonely. And I think my first natural reaction is to shut down a little bit, go inward, get in my head.
Yeah, I can agree with that 10 times over. I think I catch myself often doing that, where it's like, I think I probably do it more than I realize, where I think you used the word isolate. I definitely will isolate myself sometimes, where I just gotta be like, I gotta walk away from a situation because I'll get too deep in the depths. But I don't know.
There's probably a million people out there who would love to help us through those situations.
Yeah, probably.
I won't speak for you on that, but I'm sure I've had a few glimpses of that, recently, to where I was talking to a buddy about this thing and that I was kind of going through, and not super close, but close enough to be like, just stressed out about this. He's like, you could ask me for help, or you could ask this dude for help. He loves you. He would, he thinks the world of you. And I'm like, really? Wow. I didn't know that. And so, I'm working hard to build those bridges. Slightly different course. I've had 2 conversations with total strangers in the last week.
Hey, I love when you sent me that.
We said,
when you sent me that text, I'll be honest, I was like, what is he talking about? And it clicked. It clicked for me what you were getting. And I'm like, oh, awesome. How'd they go?
I'm trying. They were fine. They were fine. Maybe a minute or 2.
Surface level, though. That's what I'm good at.
Dude, just flying high. But it did go beyond, that's a good looking grapefruit in the grocery store. Just good. a little deeper. I got uncomfortable. They couldn't tell. I cut bait and was okay. Well, all right. Yep. Have a great day. But I did it. It was a start.
Oh, there you go.
Now, if I could only do that with people who are maybe not total strangers, I could start to build a few more friendships, but step at a time.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's cool. You mentioned about talking to people and maybe certain people to reach out to if, you've not done a thing, but someone's done a thing. Mm-hmm. I feel like I've said this before, but in these calls, I often will take from our recordings, our podcast, like where I'm like, things that maybe I could think about differently how I'm doing something. And then that also stems from people reaching out to me that have listened to our podcast and have given feedback on things. Like my acts of service discussion in that I think it was episode 5 or one of those episodes about service. And a good friend of mine, I had offered to do something, and he's like, that is way out of your way. You do not need to do that. Like, I listened to your pod, and he calls out, he's like, I listened to your podcast. I know that you want to do this, but I'm not going to let you, basically. And I'm like, all right, duly noted. Like, it's almost like a reminder that I don't have to make up for all the time that I'm sitting there. And I think I subconsciously will try to make up for the years of me being a drunk and POS that couldn't get things squared up. And I think I'm trying to make it even or make it right, because I often will try to make up for mistakes. And I think I tentatively do that without even thinking about it, where I'm trying to mask the actual core issue that I might be dealing with, or that's hidden deep down, that I'm trying to make up for something that I don't really need to make up for at this point. I just need to keep being different and being better every day.
I don't know if I try to make up for anything. Maybe I do and I don't realize it. You seem to have a lot of people reach out to you.
Yeah. Feels that way.
It does feel that way. I was going to ask if that's just my interpretation or if that's the thing.
I think I welcome it, though. Much of the case. I'm a very outgoing person.
You're an approachable person.
Yeah.
I don't think I am.
Yeah. Do you think what do you think it is?
I don't know. Well, no, I think I know. My adult life, I think... I've heard no one's approached me and said you're not approachable. I have been told that I am intimidating. Now that's mainly through work, but work's most of kind of your adult life, right? That's where we spend a ton of time. And that I've heard, and I wonder if that's just carried into personal life. I have short responses. I'm tall, so if you see me in person, some people are intimidated by that.
Oh, I could tell in the video. I could tell you're lanky.
I'm direct, and yeah, maybe part of my loneliness stems from I'm not an approachable person. That would be my fault, not society's fault. That would be me. That would be me.
I wouldn't say it's, is that really a fault? I don't know. I don't think it's a bad thing.
Sometimes. I don't know. Do you think I'm approachable, William? What's your assessment of me?
I think you're approachable, but
but you decided to do a podcast with me, so maybe you're the one.
So, much of our conversation has been like that, where it's like, I don't know, it's easy. I think, and I don't know, because I do think we're similar in a lot of ways, but I think we're very different in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
That I gravitate towards that. Like, my wife and I are complete opposites in so many ways. And I think I look for that because I don't want someone who's like me to a T. That almost pushes me in a different direction. Now, there are certain qualities of our relationship where I'm like, man, that's really challenging me from you. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think that I view it as I get better from that. I think I learn a lot. Like, awkward pauses like that. Yeah. See, I made you raise your eyebrows on that one.
I thought you froze. I'm not used to you having a pause like that.
It was probably poor timing, but I
think it was great.
I have been practicing that. And
how's it going?
Oh, what is that? That has done so much for me just
Really?
to be in the moment. And how many times people feel like they need to speak. Like I have. Like I do. I still do it. I'm not.
They'll fill the space.
No question. Yeah, they'll fill it. And what's really going on? I feel like in myself, I break the silence because then maybe it's something that's going through my mind. Like, oh man, I should be saying this. Like I said our last call, but yeah, approachability wise, I think I've just always been boisterous. I've been always a loud person. And so I think maybe because I'm so talkative, others feel apt to talk. Possibly.
Yeah. I think I'm going more inward as I age.
Yeah.
And
at the same time, we're doing
maybe a little less outgoing. Yeah, I know. We need to get like a therapist on here to help me analyze myself, because I will be completely open here, and if this went out to 1 million people, I would be okay with it. If I was in here in this room, no cameras, with someone one-on-one, I'd be totally comfortable. And then I don't know if it's a number. I don't know if it's a certain group of people. I just fucking shut down.
But then you also have like a FOMO though. Like when we did our running marathon thing, it's like you didn't come, and then all of a sudden a day in, you were like, man, I should be there. And
I fucked up. Yeah, well, because I viewed that situation as I don't want to go run. I don't want to run, so I'm not going to do this thing. And I didn't think about the opportunity to actually meet and connect with all of these people that I know online and have seemingly good relationships, virtual relationships with. And that would have been a really great opportunity to go solidify that, right? Complete it, meet them in person, start to develop some of that. And I didn't think about that situation until it was happening, and it was too late. And I 100% had some fear of missing out on that one. I was like, damn, that would have been really good.
do you feel like in some of those situations that you find yourself maybe like with your walls, you used the term earlier with walls, that's almost like you're not afraid of loneliness by any means, but like you're almost creating loneliness by your own demise. You didn't want to run, and then all of a sudden you're like, man, I'm missing out. Not.
Well, I didn't want to fly there and run.
Who wants to just go pay someone or pay another company to run 13 miles? You can do that at home. I hear that a lot. Yeah, I do that a lot now.
Yeah.
I love the community, and I think that's for me, like very much with Reliant, and, with coaching and building community. I think our businesses, we've talked about the family versus they're not family. Like I think I like the togetherness, and I love that. And so I think I'm constantly seeking that in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in how I process my day, like I think that's also why I feel so much of my days like, how many people can I help? What can I all do? What more can I do? How much can I shed a light in someone's life? All that stuff. And it's like sometimes I don't give myself a chance to feel loneliness.
I was going to say, are you just afraid of feeling lonely, and you know that's what's going to happen if you don't stack your day up?
I think so. I think that's definitely a big part of it. Yeah, I would like to say no, but I don't think that that's the truth. I think the truth is that I'm very much afraid of loneliness, but I'm not afraid. Like I don't want to face it because I know what it was like when I was lonely. And at the same time, I don't have to be lonely. I've got my wife, my kids, I've got my faith, God is with me all the time. And I've got all these things around me that I surround myself with that it's impossible to be lonely. But I think sometimes my own thoughts get in the way of loneliness, of doing things by myself.
I don't think I'd say it's impossible to be lonely. I think you'd be surrounded by all these things and still be lonely. And then you have to question if they're the right things or if you're missing a thing. If it's, I don't think being surrounded by, we have proven in life that being surrounded by things doesn't mean you won't be lonely.
Yeah, good point.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think that it means that you don't love your wife or your kids or your faith, but maybe there's a piece that's missing. I don't know. That's where my mind goes. Hey, overall though, I'd say my loneliness has gotten better. I don't sit, we sit here and I talk about this, and sometimes I feel like I paint this picture of I'm willing to go really deep on a topic, but that doesn't mean I'm lonely 24 hours a day. It's gotten better. And I've been able to say, oh, it's pretty specific stuff. It's my kids. I struggle with loneliness around my kids. And right now in building a business and trying to figure things out and not having answers and not feeling like I have someone who's done the damn thing that I can go to. And the people that I do have that have done the thing that I can go to, I'm worried about abusing that access.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I could ask them questions 8 hours a day, but they didn't sign up to be my sounding board.
No. Or your
they're
board
in my
of
lives.
directors.
They're in my, no, they haven't done this either to this degree. And, I think about, we'll use Brad as an example, pay him to be my fitness coach, not my business coach. So, but he's done a good job of building a business. And so, I'll ask him a few questions here or there. Could I ask him more? Maybe. Do I feel comfortable asking more? Absolutely not. Because I feel like it breaks that lane of this is what you're in my life for, not for the other things. And I feel like asking too many questions would be some type of abuse of that. And super nice guy, and he'd probably answer you. But in my mind, I go, he probably doesn't want to be. I don't ask. I don't ask that. Like, hey, are you cool with this? I'll just every couple of months ask a question.
I guess I don't think about it like that all the time.
How do you think about it?
I mean, sometimes I feel like if they don't want to answer, they don't have to answer. I don't have to assume that they would or wouldn't. I think if I truly have a question on something, like I think about people that are, let's say, in my community that have built businesses or maybe like I was looking into real estate a while back and curious how someone in our community has acquired or done what they've done. And I just asked, I said, do you want to have a cup of coffee sometime? I'd love to pick your brain. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't hardly spoken to this person. Now that's just someone that I haven't spoken to. And yeah, sure, we can have a cup of coffee. And they have every right to say, no, I don't have time or don't really want to. Or same with, in this instance, Brad. Like, he's now slightly being like, in the case of me building in a similar space, different coaching style, but very similar space. He's done so well, like you said, and he's built it from where he was and to what he is now. And I consider him a mentor. I think it's inspiring to want to do something similar, and he's been nothing but support in that. And I mean, in a lot of ways, he's been like, yeah, I want to help, like, and so I definitely don't abuse it by any means, but if he didn't want to answer me, and there's been times where maybe I've asked him something, it's not that he doesn't answer, but he's like, nah, well, not really, and doesn't really give me a great answer. And that's not just him, that's anybody. You know what? I'm not going to sit there and dig more. Like, clearly they don't want to ask, or they don't want to maybe get into depth on it. That's okay. I have to be okay with that too.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I just get hung up on, not, not asking someone necessarily those questions. It's, how did that relationship form? And if it was someone who had done what he had done, but I just knew them and wasn't a client, that, I'd probably feel more comfortable doing it. And I'm not saying that I'm right. This is just how I feel. And whenever that relationship was formed in, hey, this lane of my life, I've paid you to teach me on that. And now I want to ask you about this kind of way over here. I get this sense of, well, I'm paying you for this, so you're going to feel obligated to give me some type of answer because we have this relationship. So you're going to give me a little bit over here, but that doesn't mean that you love it. And I get, and I worry about putting people in that situation of where they're like, I have to maintain this thing because of our existing relationship. So I have to answer that somewhat, even though I don't want to. And that is a whole lot of assumption on my end. And maybe people don't generally feel that way. And I could be asking more questions and relieve a little bit of the loneliness, but that's just where my mind goes. I'm like, I don't want to put them in a spot to where they feel like they have to answer these questions. And sometimes whenever you open that door to someone, they keep walking through the door, and I don't want to make them feel that way.
Do you feel like there's times in like a relationship with when maybe not in this situation, but in any, where you might look back and think on times where the connection, maybe there was a point where you're like, oh, I can ask more, or maybe they're asking more of you, and it like changes the relationship in a bad way or a good way? I
mean, yeah, there's been, it sounds like a normal evolution of a relationship.
Yeah. I would guess,
to where you share more and ask more. And sure. Yeah. I've been there. Maybe it's, I don't know the answer. I'm trying to figure it out. Yes, that's happened. Because I go, it sounds normal. Maybe I get hung up on how that relationship started, and is there money involved? Is there some other like commitment to it? And I just don't want to make someone feel bad or obligated. I don't want to make them feel obligated to participate in another area of my life. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm too black and white in that regard.
Yeah. But even so, like when you talk about money or transaction side of things,
yep.
You've paid for a service that might, let's say, be A, but they could offer you a little bit of B. Do you think that in that service, do you feel obligated then to pay them more for service B, or because it's the same person that can still provide service?
I would feel obligated to pay them for the additional thing that they're doing for me. Yeah.
Got it. Nothing wrong with that.
I worked in a bike shop for 11 years. And if someone came in for me to true their wheel, straighten their wheel, they're paying me to do that service. If they then wanted me to adjust their front brake, I would charge them to adjust their front brake because that is a separate service. You came in for this.
Yep.
Now you want that. I'll do that. I'm going to charge you for it. That's how my mind works. I came to you for fitness. I'm paying you for fitness. There's a lot of benefits that come from that I can naturally get, but going outside your existing offering of those peripherals,
yeah,
I feel I should pay you for that. And that's not, you didn't sign up to do that with me.
Yep.
You know? And so I go, oh, I have a couple questions. I don't feel bad asking something every once in a while. But that's not something that you expressly offer. But you have all that knowledge. I don't have the money to pay for that. So, you know, I go, hey, thank you for straightening my wheel and all of the things that you do and the little tweaks that I see you doing on the side. Thank you. I appreciate that. I feel really bad asking you to adjust my front brake for free.
Yeah. I think I'm on.
Does that make sense?
It does. It make valid sense.
You ask for the front brake for free? Is that what you're saying?
I don't ask for it for free, but I'll ask, you know, like,
Yeah.
Can you also adjust this? And then all of a sudden, if that person deems that service acceptable, like, hey, you know what? I'm already right here. I've got the tire off, you know, like whatever, let me fix it.
I'll just do it.
Yeah. And that's I think that's where I probably overextend myself and putting myself in those situations. And that's why I'm like, it's a good reflection for me to be like, you know, sometimes it's okay to ask, like, if I'm being asked of something of me, like, can you do this, William? Can you do more of this? It's okay for me to say, listen, I don't have that time or I don't have that ability. And I think that's where my schedule gets stacked is because I do. Yeah, you know what? While I'm doing that, I can do that. Sure. It just, you know, adds another
the
2
ability
hours
to say
my day.
no.
But yeah, it's really hard for me. Very hard.
Yeah. And
I don't want to let people down. And I think when I do that, when I say no, I'm not just letting them down, but I'm like, I want to be of service, you know, and I have this whole standard of my being the example and being the person that helps people. And sometimes it's really hard for me to say no because of that. Really,
it's hard for me.
Hard.
It's hard for me to say no to my kids. It's not hard for me to say no to anybody else in my life.
And I'm like the opposite.
I have a really hard time saying no to my kids.
Yeah.
But I'm just running through my head. I don't know. Maybe it's because I literally grew up working retail in a bike shop, and that was that. Like, we don't do anything for free. You know, just because I'm doing this doesn't mean I'll do that for you for free. We throw some stuff in there from time to time, but
I mean, I get that though. We make sandwiches, and it's like not. I mean, that's product, and if you come in to get a specific sandwich, you're not going to just, oh, can I also have that extra on there for free?
Yeah.
You know,
now,
in some cases,
Chipotle should be giving away guac for free. I don't enjoy paying that. I think that they overcharge for that, right? I think that should be provided in the fucking $20 burrito bowl that I'm paying for. So the guac, that should be free.
That came out of nowhere. You've been holding on to that one.
I ate Chipotle over the weekend. Yeah.
I love it.
It shouldn't cost $65 to take your 3 kids to lunch and get like a kid meal and a couple burritos and have shitty attitude from people there. Like, I'm sorry for bothering you at work to buy your $20 burrito bowl.
You're serving
but please charge me $3.50 for guac. I appreciate that quarter of an avocado that you're putting in here. Okay, we can move on because I could take this. This has nothing to do with loneliness. That was 100%. I've been holding on to that. And I'm like, fuck Chipotle.
The burritos are good though. Very good. So speaking of food, like eating, like talking about loneliness, something that I actually really enjoy doing is like so let's say I'm traveling for something or traveling for work. I love going and eating somewhere by myself. I don't know why. Do you, like, it's not lonely to me at all. Like, and I think I've talked to someone else in the past, and they think it's weird that I'll just go sit at a restaurant, or I used to go to movie theaters and go to movies by myself because I enjoy just sitting there, taking in the movie, eating a bucket of popcorn, and just enjoying it. And that's not lonely to me at all. Like, I don't mind it. Now, I go everywhere with my wife, and so like that's different now, but I don't mind sitting down in a booth by myself eating food. It's very enjoyable to me.
I think that's how I've eaten most of my meals.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I travel for work. There was like 3 years I was on, 110 flights a year, 110, something like that. And whenever you travel that much for work, guess what? You're alone. What am I going to do? I'm going to sit in my hotel room alone, or I'm going to go to not Chipotle and eat there alone. That doesn't bother me. I think it'd be weird to go to a movie by myself. I wouldn't feel lonely. I would feel maybe awkward. Feel like a little bit of a creep. But
I mean, if you watch a movie at home by yourself, it's the same thing. But now you just get like a bucket of popcorn, you get some soda. It's kind of nice. And you get to leave.
Sounds expensive.
True. That's true.
sounds very expensive. Yeah, man, I love being alone too. I'm alone a majority of my day. And I go, I love being alone. Give me my alone time. Maybe it's control. Maybe that's my form of control. Like I'll talk about every part of my life, but I want to do it on my terms. And if I introduce too many people, they may want to know too much at the wrong time. And I don't want to do that then. I wonder if that has anything to do with it.
Well, and kind of right to that point, do you feel like people really know Keith, or do they just know what Keith wants them to know?
Define people.
Those that maybe,
the general public, or
both. I mean, because now we're doing a podcast.
I think that if they listen to this show, they know me.
Yeah.
I don't lie. I'm pretty open. I don't tell everything, but if you ask the right questions, I would. That's not a critique of you. Just saying, like, if it came up, it would.
Feels like a critique. No, I'm just kidding.
It's a little bit of a critique. I worked with this guy for maybe 4 years. I would have considered us friends. And one day we got to a point in a conversation 4 years in, and I mentioned one of my kids, and he's like, "Time out. You have kids?" And I said, "Oh, I actually have 3." And he said, "Keith, we've fucking known each other for 4 years. We talk 3 to 5 times a week. Maybe I don't actually know anything about you." In the sense of pride that I had, that I'd pulled it off for 4 years without him knowing that, was really, really high. So I'm weird. I don't think a lot of the things that I feel are normal. I don't think you're supposed to feel good about that. And I never really intentionally hid it. Well, maybe I did. Well, I wasn't hiding it. I'm like, I don't know. This is part of my life. I don't need to bring that up. We're here to talk about work. You're my work friend. You don't need to know that. And I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have felt proud about that. But I was like, wow, I'm kind of impressed with myself that I went 4 years without.
Kind of impressive.
Without old Franny P knowing really anything about me. So I go, yeah, people know about me. I don't know. Maybe they don't. I think they know the accomplishment. They know the 30,000 foot view, maybe 20,000. Yeah.
Do you think that part of the reason for like I think about that and some of our past conversation, you mentioned that you feel not prideful, but do you feel like you love making people feel uncomfortable? I mean, I feel like we've kind of said that before.
I do.
It's almost like a skill.
I do find a slight amount of joy in making people feel uncomfortable. Not in every way, but yeah.
We do it differently because I will say I shouldn't say uncomfortable. I like being out there and like pushing people to limits, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Especially now more than ever, like when like I used to not be able to do things. And so now it's like I challenge people to do things like running half marathons. And I like to make them uncomfortable in that regard. And I don't want them to feel uncomfortable like, oh, because you can't physically do it. But it's like I used to not be able to physically do things. And when we were in El Salvador for that mission trip, we went to this like big park thing with zip lines and stuff. And,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have been able to do that 2 years ago because of weight limit. But then on top of that, I did this like swing thing where you drop off, like you stand on this ledge and they just drop the floor out from below you and you just swing way out. And it's like a whatever foot drop. And I'm like, nobody wanted to do it. And of course I'm boisterous and I've been talking the whole time. They're like, Will, you should do it. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. Like my stomach's already twisting thinking about it. And I'm like, you know what? We're about to leave. I'm like, screw it. I'll do it. Like, and so I did it, and I'm like, I'm really glad I did because I don't know if I'll ever be able to go back and do that. But here I am basically trying to make people feel uncomfortable doing the same thing. And I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to sit there and push other people to do that, I could do it too. And so like I'm uncomfortable in that regard. Now, it's similar but different, but I like challenging people to do more, I guess you could say.
Okay, I can see that. Here's my example of how I make people feel uncomfortable. Let's pretend that we are at a charity event. We've never met. You come up to me. Here, ask me this question. Go, oh, are you from Utah?
Oh, are you from Utah?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So there you go. Welcome to me at a charity event. Did I make you feel uncomfortable? Just a little?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So that's what it's like to talk to me in certain situations.
And the best part is I even knew that was coming in a way. Like, I
Yeah.
know you enough now that I'm like, I'm expecting that.
If
but
you're not watching this, the dead stare at you.
I'm still
That's the icing on the
uncomfortable.
cake. You're still uncomfortable, right?
Yeah. And I'm 5'6", so I can only imagine looking up to you and being like, oh.
So here's the thing. I don't do that to make people feel uncomfortable. And so whenever I say I enjoy making people feel uncomfortable, I don't really enjoy it. Like I don't go home at night, write it down in my journal. I made William feel uncomfortable. It's not like that. I don't mind making you feel uncomfortable with my actions. And like, if I don't want to do something, then I'm not going to do it. And if you're uncomfortable with that, I don't care. So that's what I mean by I'm okay, or I enjoy, I like making people feel uncomfortable. That's what I'm talking about. I don't want to give you more than that. And so I'm not going to give you more than that. And I know you're going to be uncomfortable. I just don't care. And I think I feel like there's something in my brain that's broken because that's not good. That's not conducive to getting a return customer of Keith to come back and talk to me. But I'm not like that everywhere. At work, I would be like, no, you know what? I'm not from Utah. I originally grew up in Central Illinois. Ended up out here for work. That would, in 7 out of 10 interactions, that's my response. But then 3 out of 10, I just go, no. And I don't know what makes me do that. I'm like, well, no shit, dude. That's why you don't have 15 friends, because people think you're a dick or they think you're kind of weird. But in that moment, I just don't want to give more, and I don't know why. But I know I'm making them uncomfortable. I don't know why Stevie's with me. Poor Stevie.
I can't wait.
She's the opposite. She'll tell you everything. And I'm like, no, not from Utah. Why'd you move here? Work. What do you do for work? Oh, I moved out here. I worked for a bicycle company.
Do you do that now?
No.
Dude, I love it.
What do you like to do for fun? I like to lift weights, play a little bit of guitar.
I want to go to a charity event with you. Really bad.
Look, I had to apologize after that one. I need to do a better job. This is all funny to talk about. It's a little bit of a problem. The good news is that it's not a majority of my interactions. It's not work. It's not with everyone. Maybe it's just big group. That's also a pretty big group. I don't love being in big groups like that.
Yeah.
But something in my mind just turns off, and I go, oh no, I don't want to do this.
I think that's just part of who we are. Like, I mean, that's life situations that have built up. I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't.
You're not
there's
gonna
a
pressure
reason
me,
you're with
motherfucker,
Stevie.
to give you full answers. I'm gonna give you
No.
I'm gonna give you what I got.
Yeah, there's a reason Stevie's with you, and that's like my wife. Like, not the same situation, but with work, I can be like, as much as I'm a teddy bear, I can be a real jerk sometimes, probably, and I need to pause and really wait on conversations. And I've been learning a lot about that. But I've really brought my wife into everything we do with business, and that has helped me and our businesses so much, because she operates so much more, like, she is in a different level of how she communicates, and it's also taught me a lot. And I'm like, man, I can learn from that. Or I need to resort to her handling it, because in this situation, she just does better in those situations. And I'm learning, but it's not always for me to handle, and that's okay.
William, I think I'm responsible for my own loneliness.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
Yeah. I would agree with my own statement. I try to avoid my own loneliness. So I think that's I think everybody's got a sense of loneliness,
You gonna
Everybody's
do
got
anything
something
about that? Let's do this. Let's put together a plan right now, me and you. What are we
Okay.
gonna do to address our loneliness?
I feel like I should limit the amount of hours I can schedule in a day, so that I give myself time away from filling voids. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Or is that too vague?
It's vague. Need something actionable. Hey, if we were going to set a goal, we could use SMART goals. You're like, I instantly tie this back to work. Are you familiar with SMART goals?
I don't remember the acronym stands for, but yes.
Okay, let's go. I think I don't know. I think I got it. Let's not Google it. Specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, time-bound.
Okay.
So you can say, yeah, I'm going to free up my schedule. Dude, how do you... Okay, what the hell does that mean?
I think actually setting a boundary on my work day, because I think I have scheduled on my
Okay.
schedule from 4 a.m. to 9 p.m. on a lot of days. Now, there's some days where it's pretty open, but I think literally setting like a boundary, like I've told the managers in our stores, like, outside of these hours, I'm not expecting you to reply within a certain amount of time. And I don't expect them, but I expect me to do that. Probably unrealistic.
So what are what boundary do you want to set up? With the goal, right? What's the goal is to sit in your loneliness a little bit, or see if it's there.
Like, I mean, gosh, do I put an operational time of just like a 9 to 4 of only being able to schedule in that? I don't know. Like, what?
I don't want to wreck your day. You know your day. Look, it'd be tough for someone who has their day scheduled from 4 a.m. to 9 p.m. Telling you to go from 9 to 4 sounds maybe a little dramatic.
Maybe 9 to 4 though, with like specifics. So like, that's something else I started doing, where with the different ventures I do, I now have one day a week that I focus on one part and one aspect only. Now fires come up with the other one, but I have that dedicated day where I don't touch my other stuff and I just focus on that. That's new as of 2 weeks ago. And that has been fantastic.
Oh, good.
And so that was something that was specific, has been measurable, actionable, relatable, and time. And I did it, incorporate it right away. And I've seen returns on that. I think I think anybody, but for me specifically, I don't know. I think I got to think about that. I think I got to think about it.
That's fair. I don't think it needs to be dramatic. I think that whenever people are like, I need to make this change, they typically go too deep and it's not sustainable, you know?
I agree.
Okay.
I think that's where a lot of people fail on their fitness and their just health in general. Change diets immediately and change their lifestyle, and overnight it's like boom, crash in a week.
Yeah. How about yourself? Outside looking in, it sounds like you just need to not schedule every single second of the day so you can maybe see. We have a party this weekend. Now,
at home?
No, thank God. No, I won't be able to escape. Actually, I could escape it if it was I just retreat to my office. We've had this agreement that I don't have to go to every big group function, right? She can pull the card and go, you have to go to this. And I need to not be a turd whenever I go to these things. So we're going this weekend. There's going to be a lot of people because someone just got engaged. So the whole friends group is going to be there. Now, my default is to not engage in that. And that's kind of what I've done with this recurring group. So that's what everyone's expecting.
Could we? This is exciting.
I need to engage.
I wish I could have a camera in there.
No. It ain't going to be pretty, but I can be better, and I need to be better. Like I said earlier, it's fun to joke about how I have one word answers, but it could become a problem.
It's real.
And it's real. It's real. You know what else? I don't mind making people feel uncomfortable in that situation, but at the same time I go, well, I don't love that part of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to engage while I'm there. How can we get, more specific than I need to engage? How do I know if I did it? I guess I could try to talk to everyone in the room. That feels so.
Your immediate, if anybody can see this right now, if you're watching this, just the emotional response there, the physical response was fantastic.
There's going to be like 12 to 15 people there. I don't think it's realistic to go properly engage.
Yeah.
I don't know, 5 people at least. At least
5.
3 questions, an introductory question with 2 follow-up questions.
And then don't
without trying to make it like
keep going through it if you can, but if the conversation ends, then it ends. But don't force the ending with one-word answers. Leave it open until they come back to you.
There we go. No one-word answers.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a better start for me rather than saying I'm going to go work the whole room.
Give some depth. Not deep. You don't have to go deep. You just got to go like 5 meters. Go a little bit in the water. You're dunking your head a little bit. You're not just wading in. You're swimming a little bit.
I'm going to proactively engage with at least 5 people.
Oh.
Some level of engagement.
Yep.
Beyond hello. And I am going to not give single word answers.
Oh. This is good.
My stomach actually hurts thinking about this, but I'm going to do it.
Oh, is this what it feels like when you make people uncomfortable? Like, I'm excited. I'm a little excited right now. Like, I wish I was there. Because I'd probably push it a little bit. I'd probably make it really noticeable. That's where I'm saying I'd make people uncomfortable. It's like if I know you're in a situation that is going to push your boundary, we're just going to push it a little bit. Just push you right to the edge. And maybe that's not a good thing. So whereas you get the one-word answer, I try
maybe I need it.
I overfill it. I'm going to fill your cup up and try to just make it overflow.
At work, I feel comfortable making people uncomfortable because there's a lot of intent behind it on pushing them, like you're talking about, to be better. So that's where I go, I'm fine making you uncomfortable at work. It's just a different type of uncomfortable in group settings in my personal life of I'm just comfortable with you being uncomfortable with my short reply or something like that. I would never want to make someone feel uncomfortable by like aggressively pushing them in my personal life. You could be doing better. You should be doing that. Like, I don't do it that way. Okay.
I like that.
We have homework.
Yeah. I've got to figure out something a little bit more measurable in my regard. I don't know if it's just creating a boundary on my hours worked per se,
Mm-hmm.
or being intentional in my day to step away from work. But I got to think on that, but I will. And I'll probably text you later.
I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Something I think that we should let our listeners know is we have some exciting things coming in the future. We've got a couple potential guests lined up. Not saying it's next episode or, I'm not going to set a timeline on it, but we've got some things in the work. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to where we can have people on and talk about some other people's challenges and some life scenarios that they've been through that we haven't. We've got someone out there in the professional world who can provide some advice and probably some good stories from work, and who you don't always want to talk to at work, but could be fun to talk to outside of work. So I'm excited about that.
Absolutely. I'm very excited. I'm for any other people that come down the line as well, but in general, just that first conversation I'm looking forward to.
I love it. Feels like a wrap for today.
It does. Feels like we got some actionable items, and we covered a lot of good topics on or good discussion on loneliness.
Let's mix it up a little bit. You wanna take us home? You wanna close this one out? Or does that make you uncomfortable?
It does make me uncomfortable, but you know what?
Would you like for me to?
No, I can certainly do it. I think I think we talk about often the conversations, whether it's men, women, or the above. I think knowing some of our listeners and hearing back from some of them, I think in these conversations where we do feel like we're sitting maybe by ourselves, listening to our podcast, listening to how we can relate and have conversation, that we're not alone. There's many people that we often can relate to, and sometimes having that conversation more than one word goes a long ways. And including others in maybe what you're struggling with, you might find quickly that someone else is as well. So it's all right to be alone, but it's also all right to face some conversation sometimes.
Well said.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Say goodbye to everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, thank you, everyone, for joining in. Look forward to further conversations. Looking forward to having other guests on the calls or on the podcast as we get moving forward. Have a great rest of your week. Something I love saying is getting up, getting out, and getting after it. Tackle the week. Have a great day.
See ya.